Thank you very much for staying with us. It's time for a look at the headlines this morning. We do this, of course, every morning.
Yeah.
All right, we've been joined by Editor-in-Chief of CKN News, Chris Kende Nwando. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
And you're looking like you're ready for the weekend.
I am. Thank God it's Friday.
Yes, indeed. Okay, from the nation, that's where we begin. Senate to quiz IGP, DSS, and the DSS DG over thugs invasion. We won't be cowed, and court stops Omoagege's arrest. Mace recovered.
That was a serious security lapse.
Yes, indeed.
And I am somebody that's very used to the National Assembly, and I know there are about 3 to 4 security checkpoints.
Yes.
Right from the gate. After when you are getting to the gate, you are asked to go somewhere to clear yourselves, and the rest of them will call people inside to find out if truly you understand. Then you pass that. Then there's another one once you get to the building, where you have the check-ins and rest of them, where you'll be checked and rest of them.
But it's troubling to hear that some of the aides that went in to the National Assembly complex with Omoagege actually had police ID. So that about 10 of them actually.
So that is the problem.
Yeah.
That's the issue. So who issued them with such?
Who?
And
are they genuine policemen?
Are they genuine policemen?
Yes.
If they are, then we need to know the identity. But the take for me there is that was a very dangerous thing. If those guys were armed, they could have killed most of those senators just like that. And it would have been
many were hurt, and some
many were, but if they were fully armed, they could have made away, not even just taking the mace. That was a serious security, and that's within the 3-arm zone, because that's where you have Aso Rock, then you have the National Assembly, then the Supreme Court. That is a very, very fortified zone. So for them to have made their way into this thing on the DSS, we have the DSS there, we have the policemen, we also have...
well, some say the level of insecurity has come full circle.
Exactly, and some are saying that with what happened really, that we cannot be sure that it was only Omoagege that was behind.
Well, he's just... The issue is that, the problem is that a bad child we always carry the of the family, no matter whatever, no matter how beautiful or good your family. When you say, oh, there's an armed robber in that, so the whole so just like Igbo says, once one finger touches the palm oil, then the other one. So that is the problem.
Okay, Fayose Obanikoro Mishori lose 2.273 billion naira assets, and these assets are linked to the same Dasuki.
Gate.
Yeah.
The problem is that how much did this guy?
Yes. Is it the same $2 billion?
I don't know whether it's the same $2 billion or whatever that they're still sharing and sharing and sharing, and the thing just end on ending. Totally this one had the metal had this. This one had the service chiefs had that, and the rest of them will still have. But I think it's a court of appeal. Probably they will still go to the Supreme Court.
To appeal, yes.
Yeah. So I think but. It's just well,
let's just wait to see how this one pans out.
That is just it. Let's
Sex
just wait.
for Mark, OAU professor has case to answer. That's according to the Obafemi Awolowo University.
Yes.
If this video had not gone viral, we would not have heard anything about sex for Mark that is going on in our higher institutions.
You know, the other day we were discussing off camera.
Yes.
During our days in the university, and there are certain things that during our days we couldn't. Yeah, you could. Maybe there are pockets of it here and there, but it wasn't as bad as it is currently, and it's so terrible what is going on. And it's not just the professor is just 1 out of a million, or just 1 out of the scale. But there are some that even apart from insisting, they will also say that you should pay. Apart from quote unquote using you, they'll still ask you to pay for marks.
Paying in cash and
you pay in cash, you pay both in cash and kind. You know, so
okay. Let's move on. There's other stories. APC election will hold into all offices. How to boost human capital by World Bank. Of course, they've been trying to advise Nigeria on how to take care of that all-important aspect of development.
Yes, it's a good one.
All right, so we go to the Daily Sun. The major story here, as stolen mace is found, Senate summons DSS boss, IGP, wants explanation on the collapse of security day. Gang attacked Parliament. How plot to impeach Saraki Ekweremadu was foiled. We are hearing some other background information about what happened.
You know, there's this saying also that once a big tree falls, all sorts of ants and this thing continue to climb on it and the rest of them. So many stories will come here, and in fact, I was even, I also heard that about 2 of them were to be kidnapped, 2 senators were to be kidnapped, and the rest of them. I think there should be a proper investigation. There should be a proper investigation, and even the senator that was allegedly arrested, they came out to say that
he was not arrested. We only just escorted him out.
Escorted me out and just of them for my security.
To ensure that he was safe.
To ensure that he was safe. He wasn't even arrested. And I think the Senate in itself should come down on this. They should come out clean. They should make sure that all those involved are identified and duly punished. Or else, somebody spoke with me last night, and is the top legislator. He said, "Chris, what is happening is that my life is in danger." Yes, and that is what is happening. Nobody don't forget, apart from the fact that the president is the executive, is the chief executive of the executive. The National Assembly is the heartbeat of
it's the heartbeat, but it seems not. Yes, but unfortunately, from what we've been seeing so far and what we have been hearing from some of the senators, they're saying that the leadership of the National Assembly, the Senate especially, is not even abiding by the law, and that is why what happened.
Well, I wouldn't want to go to that, but let's look at it from this point. Even in just mere classroom, secondary school classroom or whatever, there are rules and regulations. Then, when you are in Parliament, whatever decision taken by your members collectively, irrespective of whatever you feel, it binds on everybody. That is the way it rolls. Okay? So, if after you've taken certain decision, irrespective of whether you are for... I watched Senator Sani on the program yesterday. You were talking... he said, yes, he was opposed to the issue of the reordering of the election, okay, by his colleagues. Yes, he was opposed to bet. Once that decision has been taken, he was bound to be that on all of it, and that should be. So if the Senate comes, I have some panelists saying, no, they shouldn't have. There are rules and regulations binding every organization and institution. So whether it's like going to the
Senate is not an exception.
The Senate is not an exception to the rule. It's not.
Moving on. I never said all youths are lazy. That's according to the president, but it's actually Femi Adesina that released a statement on behalf of the president saying that he was just saying some, not all Nigerian youths.
And some just lay about and have this entitlement mentality, more or less, to paraphrase what... he didn't use the word lazy. But when you say they just sit around and expect that we're an oil-rich nation, they should get free education, free health, free this. But are those not the promises made before the elections?
Exactly.
We'll give you free education,
you just
we'll
hit
give you free health
on the head
and free whatever.
Even if, let's even assume that practically some or all Nigerian youths are lazy. Is it for the president to go to an international forum like that to say that? Which president of the world will say that?
And if you appreciate the fact
as
that...
ambassador of your country.
If you appreciate the fact that they are not educated, you say most of them or many of them are not educated. Why do you consistently peg the education budget at 5 or 6%? If you really want them to...
Yeah, and that is a fact. Some states, I know of Bauchi State, that their yearly budget for education is about between 18 and 20%.
And what has he done about the figures that about 10-point-something million children are out of
schools? So those are the issues that we should be engaging.
And now in Benue, about 300,000
out of school already, close to 500,000. So what is he doing about it?
Okay. All right, we'll go to the top right of the paper. Death sentence. Reverend King's fate to be determined soon. That's according to Lagos Attorney General. It seems to be endless, really.
Yeah, so many people, if you go to the prisons, there are so many awaiting, those that have been sentenced to death are just awaiting execution and the rest of them. But the problem is, which of the governors will sign up on it? Oshomele tried it once, and you got the opera. So I don't think Reverend King will be executed in that future. He might just be committed to life imprisonment.
All right, let's move on to the Vanguard. Of course, still reporting on the Senate summon of the IGP, the DSS boss, over a security breach at the National Assembly. Soldiers raised Benue community over killing of colleague. My people under attack, says Governor Ishaku of...
of Taraba State.
Taraba State,
yes. You know, that was an unfortunate incident. 13 soldiers, and when the army comes out to say 13 of our men were killed, you can be rest assured that there are more than that. You understand? So I don't know the circumstances under which those attacks took place, but you remember vividly something similar also happened a few weeks back, either in Kaduna or Kano, where some soldiers were stationed somewhere and people just came and attacked them. They said, that means that even our security security personnel have become endangered species.
They become a target.
They become a target. So it's no longer target against individuals and personnel and the rest of the civilians and the rest of them. Our security personnel are also going on. And that brings to the fore that what the challenges we are facing presently is not as some look at it. Is a war against ourselves. Indeed. And if we've said that we've identified some of these attackers as foreigners, quote and unquote, what are we doing about it?
Absolutely. And if we expect our soldiers to give their all, the forefront of the war against insurgency, what are we doing to protect them when they fall?
That's also the issue.
What happens to their family?
Are you providing them enough equipment for them to work with, so that they don't even fall easily?
That will give them confidence that at least they have,
exactly. Fire for fire. Just last week we were talking about it. They say, oh, when we said $1 billion were released for equipment and rest, and I was talking about what of the personnel, the officers, those, how well motivated are they? If you have all the fantastic equipment and rest of them and structures in place, and those that are supposed to use those weapons are not well motivated, them that will be problem. Are not well fed, and they died. You don't pay their, and when they die, you quickly ask their family to leave the barracks and the rest of them. Then.
All right, Wole Soyinka, Nobel laureate, is raising the alarm. He says evil is taking over good in Nigeria.
That's a big one. I don't know what he means by evil, but the fact is that probably he's talking about the insurgents and all the all the security challenges we are having on a daily basis. If you open the front pages of newspaper,
gradually coming back in a terrible dimension.
Somebody, just in Ibadan, just a few weeks back, the twins. The two youngest of one of the chiefs in this area, kids, they have to pay 10 million to get them back. So a lot of security challenges. So that's why I'm surprised when the president was saying that, oh, in terms of security, we've done so much and the rest of them. But
of armed robbery cases there, and then Ekiti.
Look at what happened in Kwara State, and now again, it's just.
It's interesting because, look, Cyril Ramaphosa, the South African president, because of riots and protests in South Africa, has had to go back home. Yes. And we have all of these security breaches maybe it's become the norm. And we've become numb. Yes. To goings on.
It has become a part of life. And just look at even Abuja. Look at the Shiites. What's happening? In fact, there have been trending messages here and there that people should just stay off certain places. Within the federal capital territory today, so we are having a serious problem.
All right, Osho, the Apapa gridlock. How culpable are tank farms? Of course, that is what... Ambody has been begging. He's actually been begging, pleading with them.
He first gave them ultimatum. He gave them 48 hours ultimatum.
Move to the Abat, the Bola Ahmed Tinubu space that is provided somewhere around the Jora, so that they can handle this traffic situation.
It was quite sad because he first gave them ultimatum, and when that didn't work,
are you even talking about one of the ones that was given by the Navy?
The Navy, exactly. All right, so we go to the last paper now. This day, the major story concerns mount over integrity of 2019 polls on reintroduction of new polling units. There are indications that INEC is planning to introduce about 30,000 polling units across the country. I recall that was the same thing that was done in 2014. About 30,062
and the majority of them were located in certain aspects. So I don't know. So the problem is that we don't ever learn in this country. We don't learn. Our leaders don't learn, and those of our people don't even. How do we even learn when they practically scraps history? From schools. You know that?
Oh, absolutely.
That history has been scrapped.
Yes.
So
though
most of
it history is back, but the damage has been done.
The damage has been done. So if you don't learn from history, how do you better the future. How do you plan and the rest of them?
So those who fail to learn from history are doomed.
So that is the problem. I hope they won't run into the same problem that we ran into in 2014.
All right. Senate recovers maize, insists perpetrators of attack must be punished. Summons IG DSS DG as court stops them from arresting Omwagege. World Bank, Nigeria, others not prepared for digital economy. Are we even doing well in the area of analog economy?
Analog economy.
We are still on analog economy. So I think we just...
mechanized farming, when it comes to agriculture, we're not even using mechanized farming.
They just left us just continue with what we're doing. When the time we'll get there. Shouldn't worry.
Buhari under fire over comments on Nigerian youths. Presidency clarifies remarks. Hashtag lazy Nigerian youths trends on social media. Twitter was agog yesterday with tweets. Many Nigerian youths coming out to say that this is what I do. I am not irresponsible. I am not lazy. It trended for many hours yesterday.
It's been. And as I said, I think the president, irrespective of whatever he feels and how bad he feels about issues, there are certain things you don't bring to the international. If you had made that statement, probably in Asorok and the rest of them, maybe we wouldn't have taken that kind of international dimension.
Maybe we should try to find out exactly what he was trying to achieve or what he was trying, driving at. He was speaking in front of people who expect people you're trying to sell Nigeria to.
Yeah, if you finish watching that video, you will come to get to a point where he was even talking that just some few hours ago, I met the chief executive of Shell and the rest of them, and they're bringing in about $15 billion dollars investment into the restaurant. And also you are demarketing your major point.
To say that the most active population of the country.
And you say 60, that same bread, we are saying 60% of the population of the country are youth. Now you are not saying most of those youths are also very lazy. And is this youth who should be employed when these investors come in?
Yes. All right. Chris Kende Wandru, thank you for the analysis, but we'll keep you. Go on a short break.
Thank you very much.
I will go into the first discussion. Stay with us.